What is combination feeding or mixed feeding? What are the types of combination feeding? Which is the most commonly used combination feeding? Hi, I'm Prachi. I'm lactation consultant from online lactation clinic Prachi Lactation. In today's video, we are going to discuss what is combination or mixed feeding. Combination feeding or mixed feeding is when mother is directly breastfeeding and along with that giving either formula or pumped milk or both. The types of combination feeding are breastfeeding and pumped milk, breastfeeding and pumped milk and formula, breastfeeding and formula, or pumped milk and formula. Now let's see all of these one by one. In this combination, mother directly breastfeeds and offers pumped milk as well. Now there are two ways of doing this. Sometimes mothers will exclusively breastfeed and offer top feed with pumped milk 2 or 3 times a day. Sometimes mothers will do alternate. They will breastfeed for one session and give pumped milk for another session. Sometimes if the mothers are going out for work, then during that time they will be somebody else will be offering pumped milk to the baby, and otherwise the mother will be breastfeeding. In this option, mother will be breastfeeding, offering top feed using formula as well as pumped milk. Now this option is mainly preferred by those mothers who have low breast milk supply. So they do breastfeeding, and if they are pumping 2 or 3 times a day, then accordingly they will have the volume of pumped milk available. They will try to give that, and then if breastfeeding as well as pumped milk is not enough, they will offer formula. Now this is normally not a permanent situation. This is when we are working with mothers on building supply, and once the supply gets better, we try to remove formula from the equation. But when this option is being used, what we tell mothers is that if your baby is normally taking top feed of say 60 or 90 ml after breastfeeding, then how much ever pumped milk you have which is available with you, first offer that. So if you have pumped milk of say 40 or 50 ml, then first offer that and then subtract it from baby's requirements. So baby was taking 90, so in this case if pumped milk is 50, then another 40 ml should be given using formula. In this option, mother is breastfeeding and offering formula. Now this is commonly seen again with low breast milk supply, but sometimes it can also be a choice. So some mothers prefer that during certain part of the day or night they offer formula, and the other times they are doing breastfeeding. Now the only problem with this approach is that when this is done in first 2 months, your body is still calibrating breast milk supply. So if you offer formula during certain times of the day and there is no breastfeeding or pumping in place, then there is a possibility that the supply will not build as expected, or even in some mothers it might decrease. But if there is a consistency in the feeding schedule for breastfeeding, then it can still be maintained to a certain extent, but definitely not very preferable option. In this approach, mother is offering pumped milk as well as formula. In this case, normally breastfeeding was never established and mother is still trying to build breast milk supply, so breast milk supply is normally low, so the additional amount required for baby is offered by formula. In this case also, you should always give pumped milk first as much as you have and then add formula. So if you think that you have only 60 or 90 ml pumped milk but your baby's requirement is 120, then first offer pumped milk completely and following that make additional amount with formula. The most common combination used by mothers is breastfeeding plus pumped milk. This really gives exclusively breastfeeding mothers some amount of mobility or rest. If they want to take rest, somebody else can offer pumped milk. Also, if they want to go out or if they are working, it becomes a very preferable option. This was all about combination or mixed feeding. We will see you again with another topic on breastfeeding, mixed feeding and formula feeding. If you find this information helpful, do consider subscribing.